Hi guys, welcome back. So this is part 2 of demand. Part 1 is on the channel. If you haven't watched it, go check it out because I covered the basics and the start of demand curve. In this video, I'm going to be covering the rest of the section. So do stick around. If you like this type of content, then don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any questions. So let's begin. Change in quantity demanded and a change in demand. Let's recap on the shape, which is the slope, and position, which is shifts of the demand curve. So in previous sections, we made a distinguish between price and non-price factors. It is because of this distinction that there is a difference between a change in quantity demanded and a change in demand. We deal with a change in quantity demanded first. So, changes in quantity demanded. A change in the price of a good or service therefore causes a change in the quantity demanded and is represented by a movement along the demand curve. So note here, it's a movement along the demand curve. So this will be a movement on the slope of the demand curve. As the prices decline, it'll cause a downward movement, and as prices increase, it'll cause an upward movement. Changes in demand. How does a change in quantity demanded differ from a change in demand? When we dealt with the impact of non-price factors on demand, example, income, and tastes and preferences, we argued that a change in these non-price factors causes a change in the quantity demanded at each price. This is an important point. At each price, the quantity demanded is different from before and have a new demand curve. The position of the demand curve has changed. It has shifted. When comparing the impact of a change in the price of good or service with a change in a non-price factor of demand, it should be clear that a change in price, so a change in price does not change the quantity demanded at each price. It simply indicates how much is demanded at the new price, and a movement along the demand curve occurs. While a change in a non-price factor of demand changes the quantity of demand, and each price a shift in the demand curve occurs. So let's just say this is my graph. Okay, these are my two graphs. So quantity demand, right? A change in price, which will be a change in price, won't change the quantity demanded at each price. It won't change the quantity demanded at each price. It'll still stay the same. So your graph will still look the same. It'll be a movement along this line. However, A movement along the demand curve will occur. However, a change in non-price factors will affect the graph and a shift will occur. So your graph will look something like that. Sorry, it's messy. Okay. It is because of this difference between the change in quantity demanded and a change in demand that the statement, a decrease in the price of a good and service increases the demand for it, is incorrect. The reasoning behind this is as follows. A decrease in the price does not change the relationship between the different prices and quantities demanded at each price. The same quantities as before are demanded. It simply indicates that the quantity that will be demanded at the lower price. Hence, there is an increase in quantity demanded. A change in any of the non-price factors, however, changes the relationship between the price and quantity demanded. An increase in demand indicates that at each price or higher quantity than before is demanded. Hence, we have a new demand curve to the right of the initial demand curve. To the right of the initial demand curve. There is thus an increase in demand. So, let's look here. A change in price causes a change in quantity demanded and is represented as a movement along the demand curve. So this will be a change in price, either it'll increase or decrease. It will either affect the quantity demanded by increasing it or decreasing it. So remember your law of demand. If the prices increase, the demands decrease, and if the price decreases, the demand is going to increase. Here, a change in non-price factors causes a change in demand and is represented as a shift in the demand curve. So, this will increase demand. It's increasing demand, that is why it's to the left, to the right, sorry. Okay, price of related goods. There are two kinds of related goods, namely substitutes and complements. These influence the demand for a good or service. Substitutes. A substitute is a good that can be used in place of another good without reducing a consumer's level of satisfaction. So, examples of this will be butter and margarine, Coke and Pepsi, coffee and tea, rice and wheat. You can swap them and have them in place of each other, and you'll still have your needs satisfied. For example, you want to put butter on your toast, but you don't have butter, but you have margarine. It still works the same way. Complements are goods that are often used jointly together. Example, fish and chips, pap and burgos, motor cars and petrol, coffee and milk, flashlights and batteries, DVDs, machines, cell phones and airtime. Example here also, car and petrol, coffee and milk, computer and a printer. They all work hand in hand to each other basically. A change in the price of a substitute. Assume that the price of chicken burgers decreases. How will this influence the demand for chicken burgers and the demand for fried chicken pieces? Looking at the demand for chicken burgers, diagram A, the decrease in the price increases the quantity demanded. So a decrease in the price is increasing the quantity demanded. There is a downward movement along the demand curve for chicken burgers. So this is the downward movement along the demand curve. A household switches their consumption from fried chicken pieces to chicken burgers. The demand for fried chicken pieces decreases. The demand curve for fried chicken pieces shifts to the left, indicating that at each price, the quantity of fried chicken pieces is lower. In other words, if the price of a substitute good decreases, the demand for the other good usually decreases. In this example, the demand for fried chicken pieces decreases and the demand curve will shift to the left. So because people will be buying more burgers rather than chicken pieces, this will cause the quantity demanded to drop and the price, even though the price remains the same, it will shift because the quantity at that price is being demanded less and less. A change in the price of a complement. According to the law of demand, a decrease in the price of a good, example, a cell phone, will increase the quantity of the good demanded. As more cell phones are demanded and bought, people will also demand more airtime at each price. In other words, if the price of a good decreases, the demand for the complement increases. A decline in the price of a complementary product, cell phones, increases the quantity demanded of it as well as the demand for the complement, airtime. An increase in the price of a complementary product, which will be the cell phones, will decrease the quantity demanded of it as well as the demand for the complement. So, as the price for cell phones decrease, the demand for it increases. This is the movement along the downwards, along the slope, demand slope. Now, the complement for it will be airtime. It will shift to the right because as the price of cell phones decrease, the price of airtime will increase. So quantity demanded will increase, even though the price is still the same. The number of potential buyers. Another non-price factor that we have to consider is how the number of potential buyers affects the demand for a good or service. What do you think will happen to the demand for fried chicken pieces if there were more potential buyers for fried chicken pieces? This might happen if, for example, there's an increase in the population. The answer is that the demand for fried chicken pieces will increase and the demand curve will shift to the right, indicating that at every price a higher quantity is demanded. What happens if fewer potential buyers? In this situation, the demand for fried chicken pieces will decrease and the demand curve of fried chicken pieces will shift to the left. So this graph shows us the second part of this, that it's decreasing. The decrease in demand when there is a less number of potential buyers. An increase in number of potential buyers will have the graph looking like this. So it's increasing. Expected prices. If households expect the price of a product to increase in the future, they tend to increase their demand before the price increases. In South Africa, the petrol price usually changes on the first Wednesday of each month. If the new price is higher, people will try to fill up their cars with petrol before the price increases is implemented. This is thus an increase in the demand for petrol before the expected increase in price. The demand curve for petrol therefore shifts to the right. So change in expectations will cause the graph to shift to the right because people will want to buy more of the product before the prices increase. Okay, that's it for this demand video. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, then please leave a comment down below and I will try my best to answer it. If you like this type of content and want more science and educational videos, then do subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Thank you. Bye.